What terrified me will terrify others, and I need only describe the specter which had haunted my midnight pillow. Mary Shelley. Here are 25 of the most haunted places in America. 25. First on the list, even the center of U.S. presidential power is haunted. Abraham Lincoln's ghost is most frequently seen, including by Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands, Eleanor Roosevelt, and Grace Coolidge. President Andrew Jackson's ghost is said to haunt his old bedroom, and First Lady Abigail Adams is occasionally seen carrying something through the White House's hallways. 24. Moored off Long Beach, California, the Queen Mary was modified from its role as a luxury cruise liner to a hotel in 1967. If you're curious, listen for the ghosts of children around the pool and watch out in the changing rooms. Hands are said to touch you out of nowhere. 23. Nowadays a Jewish center, the General Wayne Inn just outside of Philadelphia has had a rough history since its opening in 1704. Edgar Allan Poe wrote sections of his famous poem The Raven at the inn, and even as recently as 1996, the property saw a murder and suicide due to owner disputes. 22. This Estes Park, Colorado luxury hotel inspired Stephen King's book, The Shining. Staying a night at the Stanley Hotel might leave you restless. Children are said to play all night outside room 418, the most haunted room, and you may awaken to find your blankets off and neatly folded. 21. One of Los Angeles' most famous hotels, the Hollywood Boulevard's Roosevelt Hotel, is as haunted as it is popular. Stay in room 229 to catch a glimpse of Marilyn Monroe, or look for her in the ballroom, or listen for Montgomery Clift and his trumpet around room 928. 20. Located in the city bearing the same name, the Moss Beach Distillery was a major center for illegal booze during Prohibition, especially for silent film stars. A young woman who fell in love with the piano player was killed on a nearby beach, and she, as the lady in blue, is said to wander around the building looking for her lover. 19. Formerly a treatment center for tuberculosis patients in the early 20th century, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky, had up to 63,000 people die within its walls. Many deaths were attributed to mistreatment or immoral experiments. Shadows and screams can be heard throughout the building, as well as walking across random cold spots. 18. Built in 1874, the St. Augustine Lighthouse in Florida has its share of paranormal occurrences. The original builder's daughters, who tragically died during construction, are sometimes seen on the catwalk, and former keeper William A. Harn can occasionally be found in the basement. 17. Sometimes called the most haunted house in the U.S., the Whaley House in San Diego was built on a plot which formerly included a cemetery. Put your nose to use and see if you can smell perfume in the hallway, or Thomas Whaley's cigar, or catch a glimpse of thief Yankee Jim Robinson who was beaten to death on the stairway. 16. Running through West Milford, New Jersey, Clinton Road is rumored to be the site of Satanist and Ku Klux Klan meetings, and some locals say mercenaries dump bodies in the surrounding woods. A ghost truck with floating headlights is said to follow motorists and chase them to their deaths at Dead Man's Curve. 15. North Carolina's Brown Mountain is said to have ghostly light orbs floating above the mountain. The original Cherokee inhabitants claim the lights are the spirits of Native American women from as far back as 1200 looking for their loved ones. 14. Located in upstate New York, the Rolling Hills Asylum was turned into a strip mall, then an antiques mall. After shop owners noticed bizarre paranormal occurrences, tests were run. Those taking part in the study felt the presence of a spirit and saw an arm appear and vanish rapidly in the center of the group. 13. Built almost 250 years ago, Fort Mifflin in Philadelphia is the only still intact Revolutionary War battlefield. Besides a faceless man who sometimes wanders the grounds, a woman is said to haunt the fort and scream so loudly the Philly police have been called on multiple occasions. 12. Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana, was built just after American independence, and these days operates as a bed and breakfast. It's said anywhere from 1 to 10 murders have happened on the land, and various ghosts roam its grounds, including the ghosts of old slaves coming to ask what they can do, and the ghosts of 2 murdered kids who play on the porch. 11. Formerly named Boston, Helltown, Ohio is as spooky as its name. The U.S. National Park Service forced the sale of many homes in the area in 1974 in what some people claim was the cover-up of a massive chemical spill. Other legends place the town as a Satanist meeting place, or the area where a deranged escaped mental patient roams. 10. The site of almost 8,000 deaths and 30,000 injuries, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania is a prime spot for strange paranormal occurrences. The sounds of cannons and screaming soldiers can be heard from time to time, in not just the battlefield, but in surrounding areas such as Gettysburg College. 9. Though this jail in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania was supposed to only hold 250 inmates, the Eastern State Penitentiary was sometimes stuffed with up to 1,700 prisoners. Nowadays open to tours, listen near cell block 12 for a vile cackling, or look for the ghost who stands guard occasionally in the guard tower. 8. The Moundsville Penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia, was one of the most violent jails in American history. The electric chair was frequently used, and many prisoners were hung within its walls. The spirits of the tortured and abused prisoners are said to still remain in their cells. 7. The small Sally House in Atchison, Kansas may look normal from the outside, but it faces a haunting past. The Pickmans lived in the house in the early 90s and reported burnt finger marks, upturned pictures, and burn marks on Tony Pickman's wrist after he dreamt a girl pulled him forcefully out of his bed. 6. The United States' oldest seaside resort, Cape May, is also its most haunted one. Higby Beach is rumored to be haunted by a phantom dog and his owner, among other spirits. 5. This old copper mining town in Arizona, Jerome, is now home to less than 3% of its peak population. Dangerous mining conditions and the outlaw spirits of the Wild West are said to have left behind many ghosts, including that of Sammy Dean, a prostitute strangled by a client. She now roams the area looking for her unidentified killer. 4. Mansfield, Ohio has what looks like a royal castle, but was home to one of the roughest boys' reform schools in the country, the Ohio State Reformatory, even partly filmed in the Shawshank Redemption. Many ghosts of tortured boys haunt the site. Even while it was open, prisoners reported being tucked into bed by a ghostly hand. 3. Thousands of people with mental illnesses passed through the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston, West Virginia, which is said to host the spirits of the dead, or killed, all the way back to the Civil War. If you're feeling bold, take the 8-hour overnight paranormal investigation and try to catch a glimpse of some of the ghosts. 2. Seen by many tourists visiting New Orleans, the Sultan's Palace in the Old French Quarter was home to a wealthy Turkish man, his harem of women, and a host of young men. His neighbors reviled his presence, saying he frequently indulged in opium and torture. In a still unsolved murder mystery, the Sultan's harem were hacked to death, and the Turkish man was buried alive in the courtyard. He's said to still grope some passing female visitors. 1. The small town of Villisca, just southwest of Des Moines, Iowa, was host to the gruesome unsolved murders of Josiah B. Moore's family of 6 and 2 other young girls almost 100 years ago. Residents have claimed to hear children crying and see a man with an axe roaming the grounds.
Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button in the top right corner so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with your friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these 2 videos here, or just head to our website at list25.com.